So, good evening, everyone. So, the meeting is about Agape Play School, and this meeting is for the proposal for a use permit to allow the proposed outdoor activity on the property zoned for planning development. So, the indoor occupancy will be approximately 2,100 square foot, and the outside play area will be 1,005 square foot, which is adjacent to unit 107. So let me introduce myself. I'm Adeline Neto. I'm one of the tenant for unit 107. The business that we are going to start is Agape Play School under Agape Learning Center LLC. So this play school is for the age groups 2 and above, and the timings, it's from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we will be licensed for 30 children, 8:1 ratio. 8 children and is to 1 teacher. And I will be the program director. I am qualified and I have a permit as a program director. Then I'll have the qualified teachers under me who will take care of the children. And then we will have the everyday activities. The drop-off will be from 8 to 9. The daycare, the play school, the daycare starts at 8 o'clock. From 8 to 9, the drop-off timings. Then we'll have breakfast, and then there is after that we'll have circle time, study time, and then we'll go out and play morning 1 hour, and then the second half after lunch and after nap, again we'll go for an hour. So we'll go in groups. Then we'll have snack, then the games. And then they'll have art, math, science, and all those things. Then parents can pick up their children anywhere from between 5 to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. at the latest, and not after 6 p.m. And then we will be providing morning breakfast, lunch, and evening snack. And then outdoor will be fenced as per the state licensing, minimum 5 feet height. And then it'll have a self-closing gate, accessible only from inside. And from the building, we will have a side entrance that goes to the outdoor play area. So this is the business that we are planning to start at 3700 Thomas Road, Unit 107. And is there anything else? So that's all about our operations. And then is there any questions from anyone? You can please feel free to ask. So the timings, outdoor operations. Is there any?
Adeline, do you see anybody in the waiting room to?
Oh, no, Debbie, there's no one here except us. There's no one here.
Okay.
So it looks like there's no questions.
Good presentation.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. You don't know, my hands are all.
It's like being in front of the class.
Yes, it is. Usually it's the
minimum.
Yes, Debbie, Bonnie.
Sorry. No. Just wondering, is there a minimum duration of the meeting that we have to adhere to? If there's no one joining the meeting other than the team?
The team, yes. I presented to the team. Yeah. No one is waiting also in the waiting room.
Well, the thing is that we have it on the notice that it's from 6 to 7:15.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we can wait. Yeah. The landlord said he would join the meeting, but I don't know. I don't see him too.
I wouldn't imagine that, Bonnie, that you would need to stay on. Michelle, I just have a couple of questions. I don't think you would really need to stay on either. If you just want to give me kind of a brief overview of, I haven't got I understand the traffic study is, or the on-site operations analysis is being done. I think that's complete from what Adeline had, she and I had chatted earlier today. So maybe if you can give me the summary of that, that would be, in that way, if others come on later in this, I could respond to that. Because I would not, wouldn't want to keep you guys on the phone for, till 7:15 if it's not warranted.
Sure. So the traffic study was fairly limited in scope because the project is relatively small. But we did a trip generation estimates. But because the same space was previously occupied by a daycare, Tulip Kids, and they had enrollment of 25 students, the net increase in trips is very small. Only an increase of 4 additional trips during the AM peak hour and the same during the PM peak hour, just due to the increase in enrollment from 25 students from the previous daycare to 30 students for the Agape. And then based on that small number of trips, the proposed project would be exempt from a VMT analysis. So we didn't evaluate vehicle miles traveled. And also because the project would add less than 10 trips per lane, we didn't do any analysis of intersection level service. But we did look at queues, vehicle queues at the nearby intersection at Mission College Boulevard, Thomas Road, and Montague Expressway to determine if the queues would extend beyond the project driveway. And we found that just based on the existing volumes that the queues, at least during normal traffic conditions, are likely to extend beyond the driveway. And our analysis is based on counts that were done pre-pandemic. So we haven't gone out there to do observations now because things are starting to pick up, but still in general, in most cases, the traffic is lighter. So just based on our analysis, based on the counts, it appears that the queues regularly during the peak commute times would extend past that driveway. But we don't see it as a huge issue just because the incoming traffic isn't going to have any issues that will really affect the roadway and the outbound traffic. There may be times where it is difficult to turn out, especially if you're trying to turn left out because of a queue extending back from the intersection. If that's the case, it's likely the drivers would themselves just make the choice to turn right as opposed to continuing to wait. If it, does turn out to be a problem, the property owner can themselves just put up a signage to restrict or to only allow right turns. If somebody turns right out of the site, they can go down Thomas Road and out over to Lafayette Street, I believe, and still access the same, the same areas as going out from Montague. So aside from queuing, we looked at the site distance at the driveway, especially with regard to the proposed new fence, because that fence would reduce the visibility of traffic. So if you're sitting in the driveway trying to turn out onto Thomas Road, if you look to your left, now the fence will sort of restrict the visibility, and you won't be able to see cars that are coming eastbound on Montague and then turning right onto southbound Thomas. You won't be able to see them quite as far back as you would due to the addition of this new fence. But we look to see, using the site plan that shows the fence's location, how far back people can see. And it does appear to us that the site distance still would be adequate, even though, it would be less than it is now. It would still be adequate given for the speed of traffic as they're making the right turns, right? Because you can't make a right turn while you're still going the speed limit there. So we, based on the radius of curve at that intersection, we estimate that cars will be traveling up to around 15 miles an hour, so that they don't need a lot of sight distance to be able to see cars coming from a long distance, because they'll be going slow as they make the right turn. So that doesn't seem to be a problem created by the fence. We did an analysis of parking and just confirmed that the on-site parking is sufficient for all of the uses that are on-site, including the proposed project. During the student drop-off and pickup times in the AM, most of the other businesses, I think all but one of the other businesses, are closed and don't open until 9 a.m. So the only thing that's open before 9 a.m. is the one dentist office. So there should be plenty of parking available during drop-off times. During pickup times, most of the other businesses would be open. I think there's only one that closes at 5. So most of the other businesses will be open in the afternoon, and so the parking will probably be fuller. As I mentioned, they are meeting the city's code, and if there are any issues as far as shortfalls during some of the peak times, the daycare can work with their parents to sort of develop a staggered pickup schedule to avoid any issues as far as not having enough parking just during those peak pickup times.
Do you recollect? I'm sorry, Michelle. Is the curb, where the buildings are, that driveway curb, is it painted red or not? Do you know?
There's parking in front of the buildings.
I know the parking spaces are perpendicular to the building. They're at 90-degree angles, but I'm wondering, you can't park adjacent to the building, right? What I'm trying to get at is that, there probably shouldn't be any loading to obstruct that driveway aisle.
Right.
That they'd have to turn into a parking space and then drop and walk their children to the door.
Yes. We're assuming that everybody, when they drop off or pick up their children, they will have to park in a parking space. I don't recall if the curb along the building is a red curb or not.
Okay, I'll keep that in back of my mind.
It's not something.
Well, I'm looking. This is Bonnie. So I just looked at the Google map right now. Based on the current images posted on it, they are not red curbed on the outside, but on the property, they are just right at the driveway area. Driveway area, but outside on the street, they are not red curbed.
Okay.
There are signs that say no parking on Thomas Road, so I don't think that that's an issue. I think it's just adjacent to the building itself. I think there's a red curb in front of some areas because there's actually, when I look at the street, I'm looking at the street view in the parking lot. Yeah, it is all red curb because it's fire lane, no parking.
Okay. I was wondering that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. That's good.
Let me see if there was anything else. We looked at the bicycle parking. There are 7 bike. There's a bike rack there that holds up to 7 bikes. That should be enough bicycle parking. The city goes by the guidelines in the VTA's bicycle technical guidelines, which says that they should have 1 class 1, or which is a long-term bicycle parking space per 30 employees, and 1 class 2 per 6,000 square feet. I don't know how many employees there are total within all of the uses within this center. I would be surprised if there were ever as many as 30. I would think, just based on the total size, square footage of the center, there's probably less than 30. I think the greatest need would be for bicycle parking for any customers who happen to ride to and from this site. The 7 is far in excess of the number required based on the VTA's guidelines. So they should have enough parking.
And how many employees do you have again, Adlin?
I'll be having 4 employees, Debbie. So regarding this parking, the landlord has given me some extra parking that we can pay and rent the space. So he asked if I want, I can use that space for parking. It's in 1855 Russell Avenue.
He has an off-site permit?
Yes. Oh, not permit, offsite. I think he asked that landlord if he can use the parking space, but we need to pay for the parking.
Okay.
So if my staff is having hard time parking, then I would go ahead and purchase the parking from that landlord, from that space.
Okay.
So he has given me that option.
Okay.
So Michelle, I have a question for you. Now that you mentioned about the right turn, even I was, as you're saying, because the fence is going to be there, the visibility is very less. Do you think as a safety precaution, and the street that comes out has a yellow solid lines. Does it? No. You can take a left turn, looks like, as per the Google Maps. So do you think I should put a signboard saying everyone must take right or right turn only?
I haven't been out there to observe it, like I said, just because right now, not everything is open, and it's not really typical. So I'm not really sure how big of an issue it is. Like I said, it just based on the volume of traffic, I suspect that there are times when the queue going north on Thomas is most likely definitely, there's very little distance between the driveway and the intersection. So the queues are probably, frequently back beyond there, but whether that really causes much of an issue is a little bit hard to say. Like I said, I haven't been able to observe it because it's a pretty small center. So the amount of total traffic is probably pretty low. And like I said, my thought is that it's likely that anybody who has difficulty is likely just outbound traffic, and they themselves probably just self-select to just go right. Especially for employees and parents who would be coming there on a daily basis, would find another route.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah. Because you could come down Thomas over to Norman and then go to Lafayette Street, like if you wanted to go south.
Hi, Ann. Welcome to the meeting. Wong. that person left. Sorry. He came and someone Wong, he came and then just left. I don't know, he or she.
Maybe his phone's ringing. So, Michelle, you've got all that information in your report, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The only thing that isn't mentioned is about the red curb along the building.
Okay. I think I will go by there tomorrow. I am interested to see. I can't recollect whether that's a solid yellow line.
There's a solid yellow line, but it's not a double.
It's not a double.
It's not a median, so you can turn left.
Okay.
You would be allowed to turn left.
Okay. Legally, you can do that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the fence, I don't have just the location is where it crosses over the that driveway aisle that would have provided access to the tenant space when it was auto repair. Well, the bays that would have been on that side of the building where the play area is. It just, you've got the fence that separates it from that area and the driveway aisle and parking area. Does the fence extend out into the landscape planter area?
No, Debbie, it goes till that, how should I say this? The driveway, only till the end of the driveway.
Okay, so it follows the curve.
Yes, it follows the curve. Yes.
Okay, all righty.
Yes.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah, Bonnie can answer that.
There's enough space past the fence so that if you're leaving the site, your vehicle as a driver, you would be ahead of the fence. So you can look left. It's just that, you wouldn't be able to see back as far to see vehicles coming around the corner. So you can only see them just a little right, when they're pretty close to the corner.
Right.
But as I mentioned, they'd be going pretty slow. I looked up the curb radius and what the design speed that would be for that. And like I said, for 15 miles per hour, you only need like 100 feet to be able to see 100 feet. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All good information.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is that there's going to be, more these type of questions at Planning Commission. So it's good to, spend some time talking about the, site operations and traffic in and out of the project site.
So no one is here.
Yeah, in general, this project wouldn't really cause much of a difference in terms of the traffic operation compared to the previous user. Mm-hmm. The main difference is this fence. That was my first, primary concern was the fence going to create a safety issue because
right. I think it's just the sensitivity of children on the site may cause the more interest in it than if it were a retail tenant space like, Starbucks, which was previously there, but has relocated.
Yeah.
It's good to have that as background information. I may end up attaching it to the Planning Commission staff report, so they have that information ahead of time. So once I get that report, just to recap with you, Adlin, I'll set the project clearance committee meeting. I'll send over the traffic report to Carol.
Okay.
and so that she can review it. And that will be probably, assuming that it's sent over this week, we'll schedule it for probably the 22nd of June.
Michelle already sent it to us. I just have to review it, and
Okay.
the report is already ready. Bonnie?
Yes, correct.
And you didn't identify, are there any recommendations by Hexacon in there, or is it just strictly analysis? Based on the conclusions, there wasn't anything to recommend?
Right. We didn't recommend any changes.
Okay.
So I think Sophia and Isidore, if you could spend a little bit of time, maybe just review the report like today, tomorrow, we can send it back to Debbie. If there's no other comments, we can send it to Debbie on Monday. Can we shoot for that
Yes.
target?
Yes, Bonnie.
Mhm.
Yeah, we will see
Okay.
it tonight or tomorrow, and we will send it
Yes.
to you first. And if there's
Right. I'll do
anything,
the same here also. Yep. I'll do the same here also.
okay.
Okay. So depending on the outcome of the review of that report and Project Clearance Committee, we're moving into the summer for Planning Commission, and they only meet once a month in the summertime. So if we cannot make the July 14th meeting, and I don't think that that's probably likely, just given the lead time that's necessary for reports processing and review by the.
How much time do you usually need before the meeting? Is it like 2-3 weeks ahead of it, or?
No, it's about a 6-week process of review. It goes through a queue of reviewers. So it's about 6 weeks. So that's why I'm thinking it's probably more likely that it's going to go to the August meeting, which unfortunately isn't until August 25th. I'm looking at the calendar right now.
Wow.
So yeah, it's down the road, but that's more like
Not even wouldn't pandemic maybe move things up a little bit because everyone can work from home? Maybe they could spend more time.
Sometimes they have a special meeting, but I'll have to have a discussion with management about that. But right now, it's only if they want to do a special study session or something. Or something that's a high level of importance that needs to get agendized, but not normal project. Just your general project applications wouldn't necessarily raise to that level. They would just be scheduled on the, normal calendar.
Got it. Can I have another question for you then? So can we submit this project for building permit application before that? Well, just wondering, because typically we'll wait until we get the planning permit or planning approval, but since there's a long wait right now, can we utilize the time in between to get the building permit set ready?
You can.
And submit it potentially.
Well, from what I understand from Adlin, there's no tenant improvements that are being proposed. So there would then be no building permit that would be required.
Oh, even for the fence, we don't need to get that.
If the fence is less than 6 feet in height, there isn't a permit that's needed. I will double check because I don't think it has anything to do with, the breaking up the pavement in order to put in the fence posts. If that requires a permit, I'll double check with building to see if that would be something that would require, a building permit.
Yes, that'd be great.
But otherwise, if you're not doing any tenant improvements, does it already have an ADA bathroom inside in the tenant space?
Correct.
Okay.
There's an
so-
ADA bathroom
Yeah.
inside
okay.
the space for the tenant, and the building also have a shared ADA bathroom for all tenants.
Okay. All righty. Yeah. So I don't know that if you're not applying for any building permits, then it's just a matter of, once your approval is granted, there's a 7-day appeal period of that approval. And assuming it's not appealed, then you could go ahead and, start operating.
Yes, I mean, it would be great if you can check with the building department for us, and then
Yeah.
that would be awesome. I'm pretty sure Isabel and Sylvia would be very happy to learn that they don't have to go through the building permit application process for this project. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One last thing.
Debbie, I have a question. Can I start a half-a-day preschool business there? For half-a-day preschool, I don't need an outdoor playground. Just like how Tulip Kids has. Can I start the operations?
Being that there was one, let me double check the record on that, because I understand that there was one before. I don't know that it had a use permit or not. Why I'm hedging is that because it is a PD and it's supposed to be commercial, retail uses on the bottom and office uses on the second floor. So this isn't a retail activity, and that's kind of part of what we're addressing. So I want to make sure that we're characterizing the use correctly. If it's strictly retail that's allowed, then that's how we're dealing with the use permit. But if it's commercial, this would fall within a commercial activity. So let me just get some clarity on that. But definitely, the outdoor use is off the table until the planning commission acts on that. So let me look into that. I'll talk to the development review officer tomorrow.
Okay. So this is to start only the indoor, just like how Tulip Kids was, the same business.
Again, I have to look to see if it had a use permit or not.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that use permit. Okay.
Because if it was operating without a use permit and had a business then we had deemed it to be a commercial activity. But if it had a use permit, it probably, my hunch is that it was not, that the retail use is what required it to be addressed.
Okay.
So yeah, let me get clarity on that. It's always the details.
Okay. Yes.
Those small details.
Okay.
How things are described.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. There's no one in the waiting room. It's 6:38.
Right. Let's wait till 6:45, and then I'd say Michelle and Bonnie, you guys could drop off, and then the rest of us will just sit here till 7:15.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Pardon?
That sounds good.
Okay. I would hate to if somebody came in at 7 and we weren't available.
It's 6:45 and there's no one in the waiting room. Thanks, Bonnie, and thanks, Michelle, for joining this meeting.
Thank you both.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Thank you, Debbie.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Debbie,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
how's it going?
Oh, hi, Jeff. So just a few minutes to go, you guys.
Yes, Debbie. There's no one in the waiting room. The time is 7:07. Yeah, a few more minutes to go.
I thank you for your patience and,
No problem. Thank
and
you
attendance.
Thank you for waiting for us too.
Okay, well, I'm going to be bold and say 7:14. We're okay to go.
No one is going to join in 1 minute. Yeah, it's.
All righty. Thank you all very much. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll look forward to that traffic report, and
Okay.
we'll keep on going.
Yes, Debbie. Yes. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Have a great night, you guys.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.